The chilling road, a nightmare come to life. Some roads lead you home. Some roads take you somewhere new. But some roads take you straight into a nightmare. This is the story of Lakeview Pass, a stretch of winding highway deep in the Colorado Rockies. It's beautiful during the day, towering pines, sharp cliffs, and endless skies. But after sunset, it becomes something else. The road that shouldn't be driven at night. Locals have a rule: never drive Lakeview Pass after dark. Not because of the sharp turns or steep drops, though there are plenty of those, but because of the things people see. Headlights that follow you, but never pass. Figures standing by the roadside, just out of reach. And most terrifying of all, the woman in white. The couple who didn't listen. Last fall, James and Rachel, a young couple from Denver, were driving home from a weekend getaway. It was late. The sun had already dipped behind the mountains. James glanced at the GPS. If we take Lakeview Pass, we'll shave an hour off the drive. Rachel hesitated. I've heard stories about that road. James laughed. Come on, ghost stories? We'll be fine. Famous last words. The first sign. At first the road seemed normal. The trees zipped past, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. But after a few miles, Rachel noticed something strange. The same tree kept appearing. A tall pine, broken near the top with a red ribbon tied around its trunk. Once, twice, 3 times. James, she whispered, we're driving in circles. James frowned and checked the GPS. The route was clear. One road straight ahead, but the miles weren't ticking down. Then they saw her, a woman, standing by the side of the road. Long white dress, dark hair hanging over her face. She didn't move, didn't wave, just watched them pass. Rachel grabbed James's arm. Did you see her? James nodded, his face pale. Yeah, let's just keep going. But a mile later, she was there again. Same spot, same stance, like they'd never left her behind. The figure in the back seat. Panic set in. James pressed the gas. The engine roared as they sped down the twisting road. But no matter how fast they drove, the woman kept appearing. Closer each time. Rachel checked her phone. No signal. And then, her breath caught. In the rearview mirror, a pale face. In the back seat, staring, smiling, the endless road. James swerved, tires screeching, as the car skidded to a halt. They jumped out, hearts pounding, expecting to find someone in the back seat. Nothing, just empty seats, but the road ahead, gone. In its place, more trees, endless trees. And the woman, standing right in front of them. The final warning. Rachel grabbed James's hand. We have to go back. They ran down the road, past the broken pine, past the ribbon, and every time they passed it, the woman was closer. But just when they thought they couldn't run any farther, the trees thinned, the road reappeared, and behind them, silence. No woman, no broken pine, just an empty stretch of highway under the moonlight. The nightmare never ends? James and Rachel made it home, but the nightmare didn't end. Sometimes, when they're driving late at night, James glimpses white fabric in the corner of his eye. And Rachel? She swears she still hears footsteps following her, whenever she's alone. That's tonight's story. If you ever find yourself driving down a dark, empty road, and you see someone standing by the side, don't stop. And whatever you do, don't look in the mirror. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment. Have you ever seen something strange on the road? Until next time, sleep well. The haunted mirror, what they don't want you to know. Some objects hold memories, some objects hold secrets, and some objects hold something far worse. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about a mirror, not just any mirror, but one that never reflects the truth. This is the story of the Reynolds mirror, a cursed relic that has left nothing but fear and tragedy in its wake. The estate sale find. It started, like many nightmares do, with an innocent purchase. Last summer, Clara Reynolds, a schoolteacher from Virginia, attended an estate sale. The house belonged to an elderly woman who had passed away. No family, no heirs. Clara wasn't looking for anything special, just some vintage decor for her apartment. And that's when she saw it. An ornate Victorian-style mirror. The frame was black, carved with intricate roses and vines. The glass, too clear. Like it had never aged, never gathered dust. There was something off about it. But the price? $10. Clara bought it. Big mistake. The first sign. Clara hung the mirror in her hallway, right across from her bedroom door. That first night, she noticed something strange. As she passed the mirror, her reflection didn't move right. It blinked a second too late, tilted its head when she didn't. She laughed it off, blamed it on poor sleep. But the next morning, the hallway lights flickered, and when she looked into the mirror, there was someone standing behind her. The shadow in the glass. Panicked, Clara spun around. Nothing, just an empty hallway. But when she looked back at the mirror, the shadow was closer. Faint, almost human, but twisted, like someone drowning beneath the surface of the glass. That's when she realized the mirror wasn't reflecting, it was showing something else. The nightmares begin. From that night on, Clara's dreams turned dark. She dreamt of being trapped inside the mirror, pounding on the glass while her reflection smiled back at her. She'd wake up drenched in sweat, and the mirror, it was always fogged over, like someone had been breathing on the other side. The friend who saw too much. Clara tried to ignore it, tried to tell herself it was stress, exhaustion, paranoia, but then her best friend, Maya, came over. "Cool mirror," Maya said, snapping a picture of it with her phone. But when she checked the photo, her face was missing, just an empty hallway. And behind her, a hand, reaching out from the glass. The mirror takes what it wants. Clara finally had enough. She covered the mirror with a blanket, but at night, the blanket would slide off on its own. The reflection grew darker. The shadow? It had eyes now. And one night, as Clara brushed her teeth, her reflection didn't follow her movements. Instead, it smiled and whispered, "Your turn." The lights flickered, the mirror shattered. And Clara? She was gone. The only thing left was her phone, lying on the bathroom floor. It was recording. The last thing it captured? Clara's reflection, walking away. The mirror still waits. The Reynolds mirror vanished after that. Some say it was destroyed. Others believe it was sold at another estate sale, waiting for its next victim. But one thing's certain, if you ever find an old mirror at a flea market, and the reflection feels off, don't buy it. Because some mirrors don't just reflect you, they take you. That's tonight's story. Have you ever seen something strange in a mirror? Let me know in the comments. And remember, not every reflection is yours. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next terrifying tale. Until then, sleep well. The terrifying mirror, the creepiest encounter ever. Some objects are harmless, some objects hold memories, and some objects hold something sinister. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about the most terrifying mirror encounter I've ever come across. It's not just a story, it's a warning. The antique shop find. It started with a girl named Lila, a college student in Denver. She loved vintage shopping, always hunting for unique pieces to decorate her apartment. One weekend, she stumbled upon a small antique store tucked away in an alley she didn't remember ever seeing before. Inside, the air smelled like dust and old paper, and in the corner, there it was, a tall antique mirror. The frame was silver, tarnished with age, but the glass? Too perfect. No scratches, no dust, just silent, watching. The old man behind the counter said it was from an estate sale. "I'll give it to you for $20, he said quickly. "Just take it away." Lila thought it was a steal. She should have asked why it was so cheap. The first night. Lila hung the mirror in her bedroom right across from her bed. That first night, she noticed something odd. When she walked past the mirror, her reflection didn't move at the same time. It blinked a second too late. Like it was watching, not reflecting. She laughed it off. "Must be tired," she muttered. But when she turned off the lights, the mirror glowed faintly. The reflection that watched back. The next few days, things got worse. Lila started feeling watched. Whenever she walked into her room, she'd glance at the mirror and swear she saw someone standing behind her. But when she turned around, nothing. One night, as she lay in bed scrolling through her phone, her reflection sat up before she did. Heart pounding, Lila sat up fast, eyes locked on the mirror. Her reflection was smiling, but Lila wasn't. The friend who saw too much. Terrified, Lila called her best friend Maya to come over. Maya didn't believe in ghosts. But the moment she saw the mirror, her face went pale. Maya pulled out her phone, snapped a picture, and froze. In the photo, there were two reflections. One was Lila, the other, a shadowy figure, standing behind her with hollow eyes and an open mouth. The scariest part? Its hand was on Layla's shoulder. The mirror wants more. Panicking, Lila tried to cover the mirror with a blanket, but every morning, the blanket was on the floor. And the mirror? Closer. Yes, closer to her bed. One night, she woke up to soft tapping, not at the window, not at the door, from inside the mirror, and then a voice. "Let me out," Lila screamed, but her reflection? It didn't, it just smiled. The last night. That final night, Lila had had enough. She grabbed a hammer, ready to smash the mirror. But the moment she raised it, her reflection moved on its own. It tilted its head and whispered, "If you break me, you take my place." The lights flickered, the room turned ice cold, and then the mirror cracked from the inside. Lila dropped the hammer and ran. She left everything behind. When she came back the next morning with her landlord, the mirror was gone. No glass, no frame, just an empty wall. And in the dust on the floor, footprints, leading away. The mirror still waits. Nobody knows where the mirror went. Some say it's back in another antique shop, waiting, watching, searching for the next person to take Lila's place. That's tonight's story. If you ever find an old mirror at a thrift shop and the price seems too good to be true, walk away. Because some mirrors don't just reflect your image, they reflect your fate. If you like this story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more terrifying tales. And tell me in the comments, have you ever seen something in the mirror that wasn't supposed to be there? Until next time, sleep well.